So yeah, to Kami's question, what are we building? What robot are we building? We're actually working on the custom kit bash for right there, the Gunpla Ball Drop 2024, and this is Choo Choo's Demi Trainer that I've added a bunch of extra parts to. As you can see, it's got a different arm that can extend, and this does fold back in just like that. And got the backpack. Sweet. So yeah, and I've actually got the weapons here as well. And we do have some extra... Well, let me see if I can get the light. Like, we have all the parts. Now, one thing that I want to talk about is if you look at the weapon here, there's a bit of like this kind of texture to it. And first of all, I sprayed this model primarily. I mostly just sprayed this model with primer, just regular primer. But I forgot some parts. So instead of going outside and doing it all over again, I actually went and just applied some gesso, artist gesso to it. You guys, anyone that's been hanging around is probably familiar with all of that I've done. And sorry, it's white, so it's probably washing it out. Like, obviously, the light is kind of just totally washing out. Hey, it's bacon. That looks yummy. Yeah, yum, 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 yum. Just eat this thing up. I don't recommend it. But yeah, so for the parts that I forgot to spray, I actually used gesso. And normally when I use gesso, I like to paint it on, apply it on just with a brush. But this time I used a sponge, and I just kind of dabbed the surface like this. To get this kind of texture, which I do take photos of, and it is on the Instagram and all those other places. But yeah, it has this kind of mottled texture, which at the end of the day, like once you put several other layers of paint on it, it's probably not going to be as noticeable. Sperm colorway? It's probably not going to be as noticeable. Unless you play into it, like unless you kind of want to deliberately play into it more. So I haven't actually made up my mind if I want to sort of lean into it more. And the surface, while it does look rough and mottled, it's actually fairly smooth because it's very, very thin layers of paint that I've applied this to. And we can actually go in further and smooth it out more, which is what we'll do now. Yeah, I love kind of like this very... It just looks very goofy, this thing. And I love the look of it. So now we're actually going to get to start to painting it. And as a matter of fact, I painted... I took a photo of this, and I have started to kind of paint it digitally, working on the color scheme, and that's something we'll be talking about more, on the Discord and on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I feel like we're kind of on a good track. We're on a good pace. It's November 27th, so we're not even into December yet. The model has been built. All the little extra doodads have been finished. I've got some fireworks and all that right here. So really, the main thing is to focus on painting for the rest of the month, and if we finish in a timely fashion, we can kind of get to all the extra little fun stuff that I have planned. Is this gonna open? Is this completely sealed shut? Oh shit. Oh no. Oh fudge. Oh fudge. I may have sealed this shut with paint. Kit, and that's the kind of thing that really gets me hyped up for future stuff, future kits. There we go. There it is. The interior I actually sprayed black, as you can see. I sprayed black, and then the exterior I sprayed white because I figured that would just save me time. And the same idea for the underside of this too. The underside, the upskirt, I sprayed it all black, thinking that that would save a lot of time. And then I actually forgot to spray the top white. Put some snacks. Yeah, here. What do we got here? What do we got here? Some peanut brittle. Put some peanut brittle in there. that is all I really wanted to do, was kind of show off the progress of this fellow here. He's been primed, and some considerations will probably have to be made in terms of like some extra detail. Now that I've kind of sprayed it all white now, I'm kind of getting a sense of maybe where I could add a bit more details, especially here. I feel like I might want to do a bit more work to this. Um, like the skirt, the front skirt part, I added one extra piece, and my sense is like it might need a bit more work. But yeah, the other reason why I sprayed it white was my thinking was I wanted to use some brighter colors, and that would kind of show up a lot better on a white primer base rather than black, right? It'll just be easier to paint on top of this. Or gray. Gray would be a good choice too. But yeah, so that's what we have here. And of course, as I mentioned, we'll be doing a bit of rough painting concepts digitally, and that's what I've been kind of doing the last night and the other night. So in terms of building and painting, like I can't do much for this now until I've really settled on the color scheme. So we'll set that aside.